News every 15 minutes, weather every 10, and sports twice an hour.
Newstalk, KGVO, AM 1290 and 101.5 FM.
You're listening to Montana Morning with Peter Christian.
A double homicide tops the news throughout Montana. Good morning, everyone. This is Montana Morning. It is Monday, February 22nd, 2016. Our newscast this morning sponsored by Nissan and Hyundai of Missoula. Under new management, offering rebates, discounts, and 0% financing on a huge selection of inventory. Our top story this morning, a 43-year-old man is in custody after two people were killed in a shooting at an apartment building in Helena. The Independent Record reports officers from the Helena Police Department and Lewis and Clark County Sheriff's Office found two dead men in a hallway when they responded to a report of shots fired at about 9:15 Saturday night. Helena police say one of the men was 42 years old, the other was 40, and they lived together in the apartment building. Their names have not been released. Officers arrested another resident of the apartment building on suspicion of deliberate homicide. Police confiscated one firearm. The shooting remains under investigation, and no names have been released. 23-year-old Brady Rao appeared in Missoula Justice Court Friday, charged with what the prosecuting attorney called a huge crime spree, including the theft of two vehicles and use of stolen credit cards. Deputy Missoula County Attorney Mac Bloom ticked off a litany of charges against Rao before Judge Marie Anderson after he asked for Rao to be held on $50,000 bond.
In addition to the charges that you just read, you'll see another complaint there. Mr. Rao was just picked up yesterday for stealing another car and fleeing from officers on foot. In that vehicle, he had a rifle.
Bloom continued to describe the charges against Rao.
I spoke with Detective Manraska earlier today, and he informed me that Mr. Rao confessed to stealing this most recent car and also confessed to 5 other burglaries and forging $1,900 in casino tickets. So it's the state's position that he's on a huge crime spree and clearly presents a danger to the community.
Judge Anderson set bond at $25,000 and ordered Rao to appear again on March 6th. A former teacher at Frenchtown High School, 44-year-old Michael Botsford, entered a plea of not guilty to a charge of endangering the welfare of a child in Missoula Justice Court late last week. According to court documents, Botsford allegedly exchanged over 14,000 messages with a 15-year-old female student. Charging documents go on to state that the victim was interviewed at First Step, where she told investigators about at least 10 occasions where the defendant hugged and kissed her on the forehead while they sat on the couch in his classroom. Botsford entered a plea of not guilty to having an inappropriate relationship with a minor and was released on his own recognizance by Judge Karen Orzek, with orders not to have any contact with the victim or any other children under the age of 18. Missoula County Sheriff's Office has announced several changes in personnel and in protocols that it believes will enhance its service to the Missoula area. Public Information Officer Brenda Bassett said from this point forward, booking photos of suspects will be made available to members of the media.
Recently, a judge ruled that mugshots were public information, so from now on, we'll be able to post those on our jail roster. So whether you're a media outlet or the public, you can go online and pull those images right off the internet.
Bassett also provided an update on the master plan for jail diversion.
Cynthia Wilkin, who had been working on it, finished her first draft, and that was passed on to the sheriff, who's reviewing it now. And hopefully it's a 90-some page document, so they'll be making their way through that and making any corrections that they need to.
Bassett said another change was the promotion of Jace Dickin to Chief Deputy Coroner. Dickin will respond to coroner calls Monday through Friday and release information to the families and to media in a timely manner. A Missoula-based film company has been cited for violating state fishing regulations and filming illegally in the Bob Marshall Wilderness. Montana Fish, Wildlife, and Parks says the company's owners and an associate were fined a total of about $6,000 as part of a plea agreement involving 38 state and 11 federal citations. The Daily Interlake reports that Missoula Wild produced films that showed people illegally fishing for bull trout, a federally protected species. State citations were issued for intentionally fishing for bull trout in closed waters, failing to immediately release bull trout, and failing to report a bull trout on a Fish, Wildlife, and Parks bull trout catch card. As the University of Montana administration deals with budget woes and cutbacks, ASUM may be dipping into emergency funds to keep the Child Care facility up and running. According to Senator and Chair of the Child Care Oversight Committee, Caitlin Hoppengardner, the fiscal difficulties began with a new state law.
It has to do with new state regulations And so basically it would mean that we would have to increase the number of rooms in our child care facility, increase the staff, but also decrease the children to comply with the new regulations. They're statewide, and they should be going into effect March 1st, but they won't actually happen until later.
Hoppen Gardner said the biggest issue right now for the ASUM budget is an increase in something called the administrative assessment.
It's more than it has been in the past this year, and basically that's a tax on ASUM by the administration where they take the money that we've raised through student fees. We're trying to get it changed because since we don't actually profit, we're all fee-based, it doesn't make sense for us to be assessed this as well. And normally we've been paying about $130,000, but this year it jumped up to close to $160,000.
ASUM has already voted to approve of setting aside $80,000 from the emergency fund to possibly help fund the Child Care Center. A final vote is expected this Saturday. The state summer Special Olympic Games are coming up in May this year. Sergeant Mark Horner and the Missoula Police Department are ready to take the polar plunge to raise money for athletes.
Raises money for the local area games and local athletes. We've got over 1,500 athletes right now in the state of Montana that we are able to fund. And each athlete, it costs a lot of money to fund an athlete, but what it does, it helps them and their family come to all these events. It won't cost them a dime.
Horner says the Super Grizzly Dip will be this Saturday at noon on the oval of the University of Montana campus.
There's always coming out and just making a donation and cheering the athletes on, or there's a website that they could go to, and that is SOMT.org/Polar Plunge. I'm kind of actually known as the Iceman. I'm the one who brings all the ice, gets to dump it in, so got about 60 bags this time. This is the most I've ever brought to put in.
Horner says in addition to the Missoula PD, the Sheriff's Office, high school students, City Hall employees, and college students will all be taking the plunge. Missoula County Elections Administrator Rebecca Connors had expected that recruiting 800 election judges might be difficult, but she was pleased to announce the goal was achieved last week.
We really thought it was an uphill battle, but we're so happy we reached the top of that hill and that the community of Missoula has really stepped up to say we really want to help the elections office and support the process this year. So we're really excited about that.
Having this many volunteers give the elections office the ability to split shifts so people don't have to work the entire 16 hours on election day. Connors said as big of a turnout also helps them offer more specific services.
And also add some more customer service positions, such as maybe an election judge that's trained specifically to handle disabled voters or any kind of emergency health training, such as CPR. And so we're really excited that we have this much turnout to be able to offer those kind of customer service positions.
A media blitz, including a live appearance on the Talkback Show, helped to make the difference, to put them over the top. We're glad to help. News Talk time now, 6:12.
News Talk, KGVO.
Missoula's official weather station.
Partly to mostly cloudy skies today with a chance of snow showers. High temperatures will warm into the mid-40s. It will be quite breezy this afternoon with wind gusts as high as 20 miles per hour. I'm meteorologist Brooke Foster for Missoula's KECI 13.